The PlayStation had a lot of great games, such as Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Metal Gear Solid, and of course, Tomb Raider! Tomb Raider! Tomb Raider!
Speaking of which, let's time travel to the beginnings and check out the complete history of Tomb Raider. The central character in Tomb Raider is the English archaeologist Lara Croft, a female adventurer in search of ancient relics.
Lara was created by one-time core designer Toby Gard in 1995, with the character and backstory fleshed out by writer Vicky Arnold.
With all that set up, the first game was ready, and so it began. Tomb Raider, 1996. Tomb Raider was originally released on the Sega Saturn and eventually the PS1. The game follows Lara Croft as she searches for three mysterious Icon artifacts across the world.
Originally, Lara was going to be a male, but when core design wanted to focus more on puzzles than action, they changed it to a woman. Their logic was that women are more suited to solving puzzles than men.
An elf in green tights and wears earrings says hello.
The game received critical acclaim and went on to sell 8 million copies. It also won numerous Game of the Year awards.
However, the game's use of a hard-edged female heroine was hailed as revolutionary and derided as sexist for her exaggerated physical features designed for the male gamer. Nevertheless, Lara caused a sensation in the gaming world and catapulted her to cyber celebrity status, both in and out of the video game community.
Oh, and before we forget, there was also an expansion pack released after Tomb Raider 2 in 1998 called Tomb Raider Gold: Unfinished Business.
God left core design in 1997 as he was no longer given creative freedom on the character. In the end, he was given a choice of making a Tomb Raider port for the Nintendo 64 or work on Tomb Raider 2. He chose neither and subsequently threw himself off a bridge. I'm just kidding. He's living alive and well. Look, here he is in 2005.
Tomb Raider 2, starring Lara Croft, 1997.
After the first one's huge success, the inevitability of a sequel was as unexpected as a Scottish man that spoke Scottish.
This time, Laura was in search of the mythical dagger of Exxon.
I don't think it's Exxon.
Computer, tell us.
Cian.
Which has the power to turn its bearer into a dragon. Creepy stuff if you ask me.
The game built upon the basic setup of the original with new weapons, moves, and larger levels with fancy dynamic lighting.
Sony signed an exclusive agreement with Eidos, preventing other consoles from receiving the game.
Of course, it didn't matter, as Tomb Raider 2 sold like muffins and continued Laura's fame. She even began featuring in commercials, such as a Lucasade advert with a very campy tribe man.
Oh, Lucasade! Thanks, Blobby.
The game was also re-released for the PC titled Tomb Raider 2 Gold, Golden Mask Expansion, in 1999.
Tomb Raider 3 Adventures of Lara Croft, 1998.
Core went out to push the boat really far with the third installment.
This time, Laura went all extraterrestrial on our asses with a plot involving a meteorite and Nevada, aka Area 51.
The game took you around the globe and expanded the gameplay ever so slightly, with Laura now able to crouch, crawl, sprint, and monkey swing, which was quite a big thing in gaming at the time. Everyone did it!
While Tomb Raider 3 did receive positive reviews, some people complained that the series was drifting off what made Tomb Raider great in the first place. You know, exploring tombs. Still, it sold 6.5 million copies and was even given a mini-sequel expansion for the PC titled Tomb Raider 3, The Lost Artifact Expansion in 2000.
Tomb Raider The Last Revelation, 1999. With the contract ending with Sony, Tomb Raider was free to go on whatever platform she chose, resulting in Laura's fourth installment being released for the Sega Dreamcast.
This time, the game attempts to explore more of Laura's past and establish her as a character. There's a lot more plot beyond that, so we won't spoil anything, but one thing that everyone knows is...
No, you spoil the ending, don't.
Come on, the game's about 13 years old.
No,
don't.
No,
Look.
You know, fine, good point.
Yeah. So, one thing is, Laura dies at the end. No, wait, she doesn't die. She gets trapped inside the pyramid and is presumed dead, making us believe the Tomb Raider series is going to have a break.
Like the previous games, the fourth adventure added minor new features, and several new locales, including Dexter's favorite city, Giza.
The game was once again a critical and commercial success, selling 5 million copies. However, one reviewer from IGN gave the Dreamcast version a 3 out of 10.
Shocking.
Shocking, like Electro. I mean, Jamie Foxx playing Electro. What the heck?
Tomb Raider comic, 1999. In the same year as the fourth game, Tomb Raider graced her own comic book, which lasted all the way to March 2005. That's quite impressive.
It also featured my favorite writer and sometimes penciler, Michael Turner.
Tomb Raider Game Boy Color, 2000.
Laura jumped onto the small screen with Tomb Raider for the Game Boy Color. It was Laura's first handheld adventure and received surprisingly strong reviews.
Oh. Tomb Raider Chronicles 2000. With the PS1 finally reaching its doom, Core decided to make one last Tomb Raider adventure. But how, I hear you not ask? Can Tomb Raider continue if Laura is considered dead? Simple. Make it a prequel of sorts, with 3 of Laura's associates, Winston Smith, Patrick Dunstan, and Charles Kane, reminiscing her past adventures. The question is, are they actually talking about the past adventures, or are they making it up? How much is fiction?
The gameplay continued the foundation of only minor changes, such as walking on tight ropes. However, the PC version included a level maker. How generous. The game sold poorly compared to previous entries, with only 1.5 million copies sold, and critically received mixed reviews.
Oh, what a shame. That is why they don't do a 4th game. That's number 5. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, 2001. What happens when a game franchise becomes hugely popular? Why, they get a big Hollywood movie, of course.
Angelina Jolie was cast as a tough heroine, however not even her take on the character could save the film from stinking like my armpits. Wow, I insulted myself.
Despite its terrible reception, the film was the highest grossing video game to film until Prince of Persia took its thunder.
On a surprising note, Daniel Craig was in it.
Really? James Bond?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's also Tomb Raider the Ride, an attraction at Paramount Kings Island themed to the film.
Tomb Raider Curse of the Sword, 2001.
Core made another handheld adventure for the Game Boy Color. The plot is apparently very similar to The Mummy Returns, but despite its association with that shallow film, the game received decent reviews.
Tomb Raider The Prophecy, 2002. A year later, and Lara Croft made another jump to Nintendo's newest handheld, the Game Boy Advance. While the previous 2 games were side-scrollers, The Prophecy was an isometric adventure.
With a new lock-on combat system designed to make it easier to play.
It received mostly average reviews.
Tomb Raider The Angel of Darkness, 2003.
After 3 years, the next big installment of the Tomb Raider came along to the mighty PlayStation 2. However, like most popular characters in the PS1 age, the transition was as rocky as driving over a street lined with Yetis.
Core Design spent 3 years working on the game, with most of the project being scrapped due to the PS2 hardware being tricky to optimize. Sadly, when the game came out, it flopped, receiving mixed to negative reviews, with critics stating it fails in all areas.
However, despite it being lambasted by critics, the game did sell well, with 2.5 million copies sold. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider The Cradle of Life, 2003.
Lara Croft got another sequel for the big screen, with Angelina Jolie reprising her role. However, despite critics noting it was better than the first one, it still sucked and was a box office flop.
The worst part was it was directed by the guy who did Speed. What a drop. Did you know Jared Butler, the Spartan Man, features in the film?
Butler. His last name makes me want butter. After the disastrous reception of Angel of Darkness, the head of Core Design, Jeremy Heath-Smith, resigned.
The publishing company, Eidos Interactive, took the production of the Tomb Raider games away from Core Design and gave it to the Gex creators, Crystal Dynamics. Would a new developer help give a new lease of life for the aging heroine? We'll have to wait and see.
But if the reboot is any indication, then obviously you know how this ends. So there's no point trying to build suspense.